This is the Atlanta Small Business Show with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Atlanta Small Business Show. I'm Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're joined by Cory Mosley, who's business growth coach, professional speaker, author, and founder of Mosley Strategy Group. Thank you so much, Cory, for joining us on the show.
Hey, always excited to be with the ASBN family.
Sure. So you're out there and you've written books on this topic of entrepreneurship and small business owners. And as business owners start to reopen and face the new realities of doing business in this COVID-19 world and economy that we're in, you talk about two challenges that they're going to be facing. What are those?
Well, I have to tell you, a lot of times what a lot of business owners are finding out is that their business wasn't as strong as they thought it was going to be. And some of the people that I've seen get punished through this whole process are the business owners that did not make the advancements or changes that they should have been making or that they put off. Restaurants who didn't do online ordering that now are forced to do it. And we see two key areas. Number one is what I call DOK. DOK stands for deficiency of knowledge. They're going to have to get the answers to the questions now in this new marketplace, in this new economy, to the questions that they weren't answering before. They're going to have to, I call it, skill up in a way that's going to allow them to excel in the new normal.
Right now, every small business owner needs as much cash as they can get their hands on. They're just hoarding cash at every possible turn. I had one small business owner talk to me and he said, I had 2 used cars and I loved them. He said, I'm a car collector. He said, they're gone. I'm just trying to do everything I can to get my hands on cash. My banker is not loaning it to me. Certainly the PPP money has helped in a very big way. But have you found that other small business owners really need cash in a big way right now?
I think people's approach to what their expenses were, the things that you might have ignored, the things that you might have been cavalier about because it wasn't as significant. It was a few $100s. It was, $16.99 a month or $29.99.
You get sloppy in good times, right?
Exactly. So I think this is an opportunity for people to start to examine those because we can't forget, right? There's a saying, scared money don't make none. Right? So you can't simply go into a compression. You can't simply go into a hoarder's mentality. You want to watch cash flow, watch expenses, but we have to continue to invest, especially if your business has to invest to grow or to restructure itself.
That's right. And one of those areas is marketing. We get a lot of questions here at ASBN where small business owners said, should I be using precious dollars right now to get back out there in the marketplace, or should I hold on to those dollars?
Right. So again, it goes back to my point. If you want to have a compression mentality, well, where are the customers? People are still buying. I don't know about you. Are you still going in the grocery store? Have you ordered something recently? Amazon's still coming to my house. Now, your market may determine if you sell live events, if you sell catering in a hotel, yes, as a hotel, you might need to make some decisions on how you're marketing right now when you may be prohibited from doing that. But taking a general compression mentality is not really going to be helpful at this particular point if what your product or service is something that is actively being consumed in the marketplace.
That's right. There's two kinds of people out there. It seems small business owners that have made those had to make those layoffs and say, okay, our goal is to bring everybody back. We want to help out and we want to bring everybody back. And that's one way of thinking. Another way of thinking is to say, okay, we're going to make all of these layoffs, or furloughs, I guess is the new word we're using for layoffs, but we're furloughing all of our employees. However, we're not so sure we're going to bring everybody back. We're going to bring those employees back that we feel are true assets to the company and then work from that standpoint. Do you have any words of wisdom on that?
Well, I think a couple of things you need to look at. Number one, I believe generally most small business owners don't hire people with the intention to fire them. Now, sometimes you make hires for the wrong decisions, but more often than not, what happens is we hire people, find out they're not right for their position or right for the company, and we keep them. We don't want confrontation. We don't want to go through HR processes or things of that nature. So what you're seeing now for people that potentially are not being invited back to their job, there's going to be a leaning out of people who really shouldn't have been there anyway. There certainly is going to be an approach for a business owner to say, hey, I didn't realize this, but Kim or John or Jack, they can do 2 or 3 jobs.
Yeah,
so
right.
maybe I pay them a little more. Hopefully we have that mindset, right? Maybe I pay them a little more and have them take on more roles. So not the ideal scenario in the grand scheme of things when 39 million people are out of employment, but as a business owner who's trying to make decisions for their business individually, not the global economy, that's something certainly that needs to be considered.
Sure. As we look at, before COVID-19, the unemployment market was so incredibly tight because the unemployment rate was so incredibly low and you couldn't find good people. So that has now done kind of like a 180. Now all of a sudden it is a small business owners market that says, wait a minute, to your point, there's 30, 40 million people that are unemployed. Maybe I don't have to go that 6-figure income to get that person that I was typically paying, $50,000 a year or $60,000 a year, because they were saying, look, there's great jobs all over the place that people can't fill. Well, guess what? Now the market has completely changed. Should we be looking at that as a small business owner to say, well, I was paying Sally $100,000 a year, but that's when the job market was really incredible. Now I've got all of these people knocking on my door that would love to take Sally's job for $60,000 a year.
Right. So, well, you're coming at this, it's kind of a couple questions rolled into one. Number one, the best companies and the best business owners didn't let their best people go to begin with, number one.
Yeah.
So number two, yes, in a virtual environment, now that more organizations are learning more about going virtual, that certainly changes. I'm based in Richmond, Virginia. So where my market might have been Richmond, Virginia, because I was very office dependent or believed that everybody had to be together.
Yeah.
Yes, the talent pool can expand now if I'm willing to let someone work remotely that lives in California or Chicago or Atlanta, right? I have those options. However, I don't want to take on the mindset necessarily that I'm going to go cut people or replace people just to save money. You can certainly look at it that way, but in the long run, I don't think it helps you, because inside every organization, there are 3 types of people: engaged employees, disengaged employees, and actively disengaged employees. So the last thing I want to do when I'm trying to regain market share, regrow my market, reestablish myself in this post-COVID economy is take a engaged employee and turn them to a disengaged or actively disengaged one.
Is it a good time to be thinking about starting a business? There's a lot of people that were right on the cusp. They were saying, hey, 2020 is the year I'm either going to retire early, or I've got money set aside, or now's just the time for maybe a side hustle that we can start. What should people do that were right on the cusp and ready to take that first leap?
Well, step one, I've got to say they need to order my book, Entrepreneurship Confidential, because it covers that exact topic where we're talking about strategies and just what we call real talk for first-time and aspiring entrepreneurs. So they need to get Entrepreneurship Confidential, number one. Number two is you're always going to find opportunity. It's really going to come down to what it is your thing is. What is your product or service, and how does it connect with the market? They talk about Uber. They talk about all the companies that were formed in a recession, that were formed in a difficult economy, that are now obviously worth billions and billions of dollars.
Right.
So it's all about product and service. It's all about solving a need and being able to market that and attract people. So yes, there's plenty of people who are starting businesses. We recently launched Fearless Entrepreneurship Society, and we're doing very, very well because business owners. I didn't answer the second thing early on, DOK, and the second thing is a support system. Most business owners lack a support system to be able to grow their business. Right. So that's how we're closing that gap.
Yeah, and the support system can come in so many ways. So tell us about Fearless Entrepreneur Society.
Yeah, so I launched FES because I realized deficiency of knowledge was an issue after working with business owners for the last 16 years. Deficiency of knowledge was an issue, and a lack of a support system, a lack of a place that they can go besides the internet, which just confuses them, which makes people fearful, overwhelms them, and creates more indecision than it does decision. Right. So we formed FES as an exclusive membership program where we're doing weekly coaching. We're doing video-based training. We're even, believe it or not, going to come together once COVID clears and have our live event component. But what we've created is what I call the most comprehensive business growth support system on the planet.
Wow. Wow. So and anybody can join that? Is it by subscription, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously people, if you just go to fearlesswithcory.com, we have all the information about what it does, what's included. Our only criteria is you need to be a committed entrepreneur and you need to be in business already. So we're helping people who have whether gotten stuck in terms of growing their business, or they're in a position right now where they have to rethink their business, turn it around. We're digging in and helping them daily work on that process.
For business owners and entrepreneurs that are watching us have this discussion right now, do yourself a favor and check out Cory's site. We're going to show it on the screen here. It'll also be a link right below this video on our homepage. Right now is when you need a Cory Mosley in your corner as your coach. Believe me when I tell you, he's the real deal, and it's something that you owe it to yourself, your company, your family to do. Get as much knowledge as you can through these very challenging times, and Cory's a great place to start and a great place to finish for that matter. So, Cory Mosley, thank you so much for joining us here on the Atlanta Small Business Show.
Jim, always great to be with you. Thank you.
Thanks.